There's like a secret hideout that I want to see if I can find again. If I don't, I don't. But if I remember, I remember. Hopefully I do, but we'll see. So let's go. So funny enough, I just found this map. I don't remember it being a loop. So I must have been off trail when I found that like secret hideout. This is what I was waiting for. Let's do this. I'm actually super happy to be back here because I've been wanting to, but I'm back. And this place is really cool. Last time I was here, it was mad mosquitoes, but I don't think that'll be the case this time. Okay, so I am deep in what I consider like a Florida rainforest, but this is a preserve here, and it just hit me that I'm like, even though there's like this dirt path, I'm like deep inside. Like, this is a few miles long. I don't know, it just makes me feel so excited to know that I'm like really surrounded right now by just trees mainly. Feels good. But here you like know. Like, I know that I'm fully encapsulated, like surrounded by nature, but like lost in a good way. I like it. I like it. I like the feeling of being deep inside the forest. It feels cool. Nowhere else to go. That's how it feels. It's like, well, might as well just keep going because you're already in. Okay, so this is actually so crazy because I just learned that the Florida Keys and a little bit of southern Florida used to be part of the Bahamas. These tiny islands of hammock support over 20 species of broadleaf trees, shrubs, and vines, most of which are native to the West Indies. And if you don't know, people that are native to the Caribbean, a nickname for it is West Indies. But anywho, this West Indian plant community was originally established largely by migrant birds, northbound migrant songbirds, having fed on the trees and shrubs in the Bahamas, Greater Antilles. The Greater Antilles is the Bahamas, by the way, and parts of Mexico. So I thought this was crazy. Lately, I have been getting into like my ancestry and things like that. So my dad, he's from the Bahamas, but I never met him. He wasn't in my life, so I kind of just rejected anything to do with him. Now I'm like growing, I'm older. That's the past, and also I shouldn't limit myself of knowing who I am, you know? So I've been getting a lot into Caribbean ancestry. I'm getting more into my roots of the Lucaya and Arawak people. Looks like I can choose 2 paths. Oh man, which one should I take? I'm going to choose the right path just because, I don't know, maybe it's a loop or something, it'll just loop me back. This place is next level. There's even like very small incline here. Or what's it called? Incline? Elevation, I mean. I guess incline is the same. See how like this one is higher than this one? I love that. And see how it goes down a little bit? I love that. Just a little bit of incline is all I need. What is the elevation? I just like the little changes. Yeah. And the Everglades is like that too, actually. So pretty cool. I'll show you where I am. I don't know if it loops back to the place or what, but yeah. Wow. So I don't even know if I want to tell you all. I guess I should just say it. So when I was in there, I'm a little high, by the way. So when I was in there, I don't know. I just wanted to let you know that I ran out. I ran out. I don't know what came over me. Just like random fear that I never have. But the thing about fear is it's an illusion. But that was a good illusion that I was just in. Just like reflecting on it. I was getting in my head. But I'm gonna go to another one though. I think I wanted to get out of that area specifically. I don't know why though, but that was just a feeling that I had. And I literally was like, really? What's going on? And then I ran. It was almost like a message from something else, but I don't know. I left. I don't know if anything was there, but I don't know. It could have just been fear. I feel like people can probably do some magic here. People probably do magic here, I think. Which isn't a problem. People do whatever they want to do. I think I felt someone else's magic and I left. There's a lot more to see here, and I'm on the hunt for the specific hideout spot. This is sick. I found this spot. Pretty nice spot, if you ask me. Water nearby and everything. I'd probably just read. I left my ukulele. I left my ukulele in the car, so I'll probably just read and look at everything, adventure through. I'm glad I made it here. This is the hideout. This is the hideout. It's good to be home. It's a good reminder that it's good to be home, and home is just where your heart is. That's a Shimshai quote. If anybody knows Shimshai, let me know. And if you don't know Shimshai, search up "Home is Where Your Heart Is" by Shimshai. Oh my gosh, I can't even say his name. By Shimshai. I love him. He's like my favorite music artist. I wish I could play his music here, but it's copyright. If it's not copyright, check it and play the music. If the music didn't play, it was copyrighted. It's good to love where you are because, man, imagine going every day wishing you were somewhere else, whether that was somewhere else in like the physical form, like environment, or wishing you were somewhere else like with the person, wishing you were somewhere else with a job, wishing you were somewhere else in life and success or romantically. But just remembering that like you're home at all times and where you're meant to be, just to stay in your heart, but also, yeah, just to stay in your heart because that's really where you're meant to be. And everything else will just figure its way out. It just looks like a movie set out here. Like the rocks are perfectly aligned with the trees. Just the way, it's just so aesthetically pleasing naturally. And that's like the best part. And I'm starting to find that Florida actually has a lot of these like rock cliffs. You notice one in Central Florida, but there's also one right over there. That's probably like a 6-7 foot rock over there. It's pretty cool. Oh, these are snake holes, aren't they? I'll be okay. I realized that these rocks, you can't even see it. The rocks around me are like the coral rock. Coral reef types of rocks, corals, I would say. See? This is pretty cool. They're like little secret corals and messages here. Just trying to put the camera in a good spot so we could chat. So I've been reading this really good book. It's called Letting Go. There's a doctor named Dr. David Hawkins, and he talks about the scale of vibration. You know, people say like high vibe, things like that, vibrations. Well, vibrations are actually real things. It's a form of energy floating around us and in us. And basically, the higher the vibration we're at consciously, the better our mood and our health, the more you can manifest. The lowest point you could be at is at a state of apathy, not being able to believe in yourself. The highest point is enlightenment, which is at 1,000. And I think apathy is like at 0 or 100 or 50. So this book is pretty much talking about one way to go up the state of consciousness. It's basically like affecting your brain waves pretty much, and it affects your happiness, the way you see colors, the way you manifest, the way you hear sounds, the people in your life. And so depending on the level of vibration we're at, it tells the story of the world that we'll be living in that moment. We attract what we are and what we feel and what we do, and that creates our vibration, and that vibration is what comes back to us in life and in this planet, in this story, in this time. So this book pretty much goes over that one way to scale up is by letting go and surrendering. Letting go, like Buddha said, like the root of all attachment, the root of all suffering is attachment. So that's attachment to our beliefs, attachment to the labels that we give ourselves, our job titles, our marriage statuses, how many children we have. Like attachment to just even a belief or identity, or even a relationship or a person or a pet or anything, or a dream or a goal. Yeah, like attachment to anything. It could be a person, place, or thing. Honestly, you just need it for the path in life. You have to know how to let it go. And it's not just like rejecting the thought of something. It's about like not being in resistance to change, not rejecting it, but accepting it and learning how to be at peace with changes. And it really just excels you up in all ways and life forms. So yeah, and things will work out how they're meant to. Right now, what he's talking about is the best way to combat fear is with love, is to send it love. The many faces of fear are familiar to us all. We have felt free-floating anxiety and panic. We have been paralyzed and frozen by fear with its accompanying palpitations and apprehensions. Worries are chronic fears. Paranoia is its extreme. In milder forms of fear, we are merely uneasy. When it is more severe, we become scared, cautious, blocked, tense, shy, speechless, superstitious, defensive, distrustful, threatened, insecure, dreading, suspicious, timid, trapped, guilty, and full of straight fright. There is fear of pain and suffering, fear of living, fear of loving, fear of closeness, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of God, fear of hell, fear of damnation, fear of poverty, fear of ridicule and criticism, fear of being trapped, fear of inadequacy, fear of danger, fear of disapproval, fear of boredom, fear of responsibility, fear of making a decision, fear of authority, fear of punishment, fear of change, fear of loss of security, fear of violence, fear of losing control, fear of feelings themselves, fear of manipulation, fear of being found out, fear of heights, fear of sex, fear of being on our own and being responsible, and fear of fear itself. Wow. As we let go of fear, we find that behind it, there is often anger at the subject of fear itself. The willingness to let go of fear and overcome it already moves us up to the next level, which is anger. So saying even anger is a higher level of consciousness than fear, meaning that a person that is angry feels less bad than a person who's in fear. Pretty much is what it's saying. Like that emotion of fear is just so like, it's life-sucking. So it's even, you'll be like mentally or emotionally better being in a state of anger. Obviously, you don't want to be in a state of anger either, but it's just saying that the next level above it is anger. Once you change that I can't to I won't, you realize that it's really in your control. And he said something like that in this book when he mentioned it. And I was just like, what a great reminder. And someone also said that life happens in circles, and it does. Like sometimes you learn a lesson and you gotta forget it and then you go back to it. So it's just amazing to keep on reading and trying and being soft with yourself and open to learning, because some things that you learned or realized years ago, you could have forgotten and you don't apply it. And that was the missing link, and then you find someone else's work and you realize, wow, what a blessing, you know? So never be scared to relearn things or to jump into topics you think you know a lot about. Like be okay with diving deeper and doing it over again. It's cool. I'm grateful for this book. I'm grateful. I'm going to read a little bit and then I'm going to leave. That was really amazing, that book, and that hideout spot. It's 1 in a million. Really 1 in a million, because no one else went down there. As always, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's being blessed. In a few weeks, I'm going to be going to Arizona, and they have these energy vortexes there where it's really good to pray and to feel a connection, but also there have been a lot of UFO sightings. So I'm going to go see if I can find some aliens or something there. And then I'm also going to do some cool hiking and camping in the desert. So that'll be really fun. So everybody stay tuned. Peace.